Yo, welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. And today, we got all of them with us. Man. We missing one, but hey, we're gonna give him a toast, y'all. We're gonna give him a toast to the missing one. But we know he's here. Toast up. So today, man, I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, man. Once you come in the stream, man, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the stream, man. Share the podcast, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like I always say, it might not be for you, but it might be for somebody else. Today's episode, it's long overdue, man. We finally all together. It don't happen often because back in the days, we used to do it through cell phones, phone calls, three-way talks. But now technology has advanced and we moving forward. So today we got in the building. We got Mr. V. We got Greg.
Yo.
We got Tay. We got Rob. And we got Al. And like I said, once you come in the stream, I see everybody in the comments. Once you come in the stream, man, share it out. But like I always say before we get started, you know what I always say? DJ, kick the beat.
Yeah. Simply ball dropping. What's up, family? K-Sap, we up. Ain't no stopping. I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve, making you haters believe I'm the MVP. Ask Mr. V and R&B, they do all sports, whether it's on the field or the court, from the arena to the ring. What? You wanna swing? I rope a dope like the one on this boxing thing. That's a punchline. I'm the greatest of all times. Got something on your mind? Hit us up on the line for that round table talk. Ask B Hunt and Sheena and K-Sap too for their views on our dudes. Marriage Chronicles for you lovers. Oh, I'm married to the game. The championships, the only time I wanna ring. K-Sap, the man behind the mic, check 1, 2. It ain't a rap until I say it's a rap. Just fall through, pull up, the hottest pod smoking. Yeah, I got you open. This freestyle brought to you by James Ford. Paid promotion, yeah. Simply ball dropping. You know what time it is. Pull up, chop it up with your family, man. K-Sap, what up?
And now, your host of the Simply Ball Droppin' Podcast, the man behind the mic, K-Sap.
And just like that, man, we right back in, man. Shout out to my man James IV for the hot Simply Ball Dropping intro. All right, man. Time has come, man. We got the fellas with us, and we're gonna break it off, man. We're gonna talk. We're gonna open it up, man. Open it up with Mr. V. Tell him what you've been doing and everything like that.
Mr. V, shout out to everybody tuning in live or to catches this on the replay. Just been doing what I'm doing, enjoying family, working, enjoying life, and sitting up here on the podcast with the fellas. Great to be here.
That's good stuff right there. Go ahead, little bro. Tell them how you been doing, man.
Hey, it's little bro. I've been working, man. Working real hard. But enjoying life all the same with the family, kids, watching them grow and loving life.
All right, Cuzzo.
Tay Hill, a.k.a. Cuzzo. Family school basketball is where I'm at with a big emphasis on basketball. Family school basketball for me.
There you go. All right, Rob.
All right, B.
All right.
It's golf season. Surrounding that. Chilling. Doing some basketball.
All right, AG 3-2.
AG 3-2, Al Green. Working on this promotion. Family. Dog. Not necessarily in that order.
All right, that's good stuff, man. Let's top it off like this, man. We're going to open up the floor, man. We're going to get into some, deep conversation, man. As kids growing up, we grew up together, man. We ventured off. We did our own things. And if you can reflect back on life, what would you say to your younger self versus now? We'll start with you, Al.
see right now as I move through things, hard work pays. And to work hard, just to grind every day. I've been grinding for the last 20 years at this point. But to tell my younger self is to work a little harder, you get out of it.
That's good stuff. Would you do anything different that you did back in the days versus things you're doing now?
Most definitely. Just make different decisions on my life, where I go and what I do. But pretty much satisfied on how life changed, how life turned out for myself.
Man, that's great. That's great. How about you, Rob?
I would say just being more committed to whatever that you're entwine yourself with and staying focused. I think a lot of times there's so much going on in life as a young adult that we lose focus of things. And I would say that commitment and focus would be the two things that I would probably tell my younger self for sure.
Was there anything you would do different?
I wouldn't necessarily change anything because I think you have to accept who you are right now and what those things that I went through has made me into right now, and I'm okay. I'm happy with myself. So there's always a better way to do things, but I'm content with it.
Okay, cool. How about you, Greg?
Man, I would say more focus and set more goals. That was back in the day. I ain't had no goals. I was just going day by day, So being more focused and have more set more goals and sticking to it, being persistent, being committed to the grind of basketball at that time. But now in life, I'm working with kids and trying to give them that I've been there, done that motivation because I know what it takes to get where they're trying to go. So just more dedication and focus to life.
All right, Mr. V.
I think I agree with R&B. Everything that I've done has brought me to where I am. I'm happy with where I am. Love my life and everything that's in it. But if I would go back in time and give myself advice during then, put the effort in up front. Don't put it on the back end. Don't put things off. Don't procrastinate. Just do what you got to do. Get it done up front, and that'll make things go a lot quicker for you. But overall, life is good, and I wouldn't trade places with anybody because I love where I am right now. I probably would also tap myself on the shoulder and say, make sure you continue to enjoy the ride for as long as you can.
All right, Cuzzo.
For me, I would tell my younger self to be great and don't be ashamed to be great.
There you go.
As a youngster, I was a BC student, but I probably could have been an AB, but I was okay being average. I'm gonna never chase greatness outside of anything other than basketball. So
Okay.
if I could tell my younger self something, I would say be great.
That's great, man. That's a good answer right there. Y'all displayed that well. Now, growing up, how we used to do around here. And seeing that we all have grown now, we have families, we have kids. Now, raising a kid today in this era, how is it different from raising a kid now versus to when we was growing up? I'll start with you, Mr. V.
I don't know if I'd say it's different. Obviously, the times have changed. Listening to my parents and how it was when they grew up is obviously different than the way it was as I grew up. My parents strived hard, as I'm sure most everybody here's parents did, to give a better, simpler life for me, which they did. And I think in turn, I've tried to do that for my kids. I'd say the challenge with that is one of the bigger differences is technology is much more now than it has been. I think as people, we're the smartest, richest that we've ever been in history. And it's just adapting that, realizing that, hey, that's not my generation, that's their generation. And they're dealing with people that are like them, so it's going to be okay when we turn the world over to them. It's their world. It ain't our world, it's their world. They're going to be just fine with that. So I think the young generation is going to be fine because they're dealing with people just like themselves, just like we dealt with people just like us that are like-minded too.
All right, Al.
Question again?
Back in the days versus kids growing up today, like raising your kid now versus to how we grew up. How does it differ?
Back in the day, versus my daughter today is totally different from me. For me, back in the day, I had to get it off the mud.
Yeah.
To be totally honest with you, she doesn't go through nearly as things that I had to go through with my mom and my single parent household. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. At times, I could tell her how we used to do things, but I know from generation to generation that things are going to change. And with change, change is not always bad. I think a lot of people think change is bad, but change is good. But like I said, I just try to tell her to strive to be the best she can be, the best person she can be.
Man, that's a great answer. And how about you, Rob?
I would say just I grew up with less. I didn't have a lot of things. Being raised with a single mom, so we kind of handle adversity a little bit different. And I think the kids today, um, they lack for nothing. I think because
Yeah.
we've all made it through one way or another, that we've been able to provide them with things that we didn't have. So it's a totally different mindset, and I think because of that, they don't go through the grind. And I think that grind is important to develop who you are in life now. And when you don't have to go through those struggles, when you get as a young adult, you struggle because you didn't have to go through those tough times, by yourself or on your own, as we did.
Yeah. It's a great answer. How about you, Cuzzo?
For me, it's that the big word relationships, man. When I was young, my family, especially my dad, put me in a position to be successful through the relationships that were built through athletics. It was big in our household. Athletics was always big, but those relationships that I built as a kid, some of them are still sitting here today.
Yeah.
And my son has been blessed to be able to be around the game of athletics, for since he was a young boy, and just trying to put positive relationships into his life as a young boy that can continue through as he becomes a young man.
Man, that's great. And how about you, little bro?
Man, my situation was different. I feel grew up with my single mom, but my dad was in the picture. He just wasn't in the household, And then me being the only child, I grew up too fast. So with my, I'm dead serious. I grew
I
up
know
too
your
fast.
track record.
Yeah. So I got grown at an early age. So with my kids now, man, I'm just taking it slow, letting them grow, not forcing them into things that I want them to do. Just letting them have their own character and be their own person. So just slowing it down for them, trying to at least, because I know where I came from.
Oh, that's great, man. And a lot of things I say to that, man, I concur with all y'all. I know we born and raised here in Frederick. I know how we used to run around. And like Greg said, some of us a little fast. You know what I'm saying? We was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? But coming up in a 2-parent household for myself, y'all know how it was, man. Natalie and Brody didn't play. Them street lights came on. We was in the house. You know what I'm saying? It was certain times that other kids was out doing things, and I'm looking out the window like, they still out. Why come I can't be out? You know what I'm saying? So, but just the upbringing and, associated with a lot of family. And like Tay said, being around a lot of people and still connected to all you guys, it's love, man. And I talk about it all the time, man. When I'm back at home, man, I be like, man, they my true riders. You know what I'm saying? I live in Texas. I got a lot of people that I associate with. But fellas like y'all, the way we started and the connection that we got, it's a bond that can't be broke. So I be telling my son that all the time. It's like I can talk to my son about a lot of different things, man, but he just don't know. He ain't seen the footage. We wasn't on social media back in the days. We didn't have the cameras, where they taking videos of us playing sports, basketball, football, and baseball. I can't show him nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can tell him, but he'll be like, stop the cat. So it's like, I can tell him everything I can tell him. I can put him on the phone with people I was associated with and played with, and they'll tell him, but I just can't give him that visual. And it's hard. So I tell my son all the time, I said, back in the days, I said, man, ain't nobody had to tell me to get up and go out and do something. I did it on my own. You know what I'm saying? These kids, social media has changed everything. So it's like, him playing the game, and just like, come on, Makai, just get out there and do something, man. Everybody they want to focus on that game, but back in the days, we didn't have that, man. We got, like Greg said and Al said, we got it from the mud, man. We went out there and made things happen. So, growing up and then seeing my son grow up, it's totally different. And it's our fault because they asked us for something, we go get it. And, sometimes I tell my wife I got to stop that shit. But, hey, that's how it is, man. But like I said, we all got families. We all got wives, girlfriends. I mean, we got the elder statesman in the house, Mr. Vaughn Harper, been married. Nah, I think Rob, you've been married 22, right?
Come on now.
22. Vaughn, 21.
We've been together longer.
I've been married 19. Greg, 5. Al, 15. And Tay, we working on you. You get there, Cuzzo.
Yeah, I've been working on my 2 steps so we can come to that reception. I'm ready for that one.
South Carolina in the building. We working on that. So as married men, man, like with everything that we do in life, how do y'all find the work balance of doing things that you want to do for yourself and then spending that time with your spouse? I'll start with you, Rob.
I'm going to say if you handle things at home first, that, it allows you freedom and the opportunity to do things, that you might enjoy yourself. But you can't leave home without making sure home is okay. Because even when you go do those things, if home isn't right, you're not going to enjoy yourself. So I think the first thing you have to do is make sure your home is taken care of.
All right, Al.
What I would say is that the first thing you have to do, like Rob said, is take care of home first. But as we all know, in our marriage, it's give and take. You're going to have to give a little to get a little. You know what I mean? You have to give and take. So sometimes you won't be able to run, sometimes you want to pause. So it's give and take. And to be in a good relationship, to be in a good marriage, it's always going to give and take. So that's my opinion.
All right, Greg.
Man, from talking to y'all guys, patience.
Yeah.
I had to learn it, and it's going. Now that I've got it, home life is going well. But I also know not to bring my work life to my home life.
Yeah.
So had to learn to separate. It took me a minute, but I feel I'm on the right track because life is great right now. So
there you go. All right, Cuzzo.
I don't really have an answer to this one.
I mean, you. South Carolina,
for me,
different.
It's a big difference though because there's nobody there. When I go to the gym, I'm at the gym, and I don't really have to rush back home to get back home. But for me, it's communication.
We ain't got to rush either.
But there's nobody there. Like you guys got a physical body that you're coming back to. It's a little different for me. But for me, for long distance, it's communication.
Yeah.
Having the ability to communicate. And for me, it's one thing to communicate, but what I struggle at sometimes is effectively communicating. There's a difference between just communicating and effectively doing it. And I use that with my guys on the gym a lot, but then I don't carry those same principles with me day to day all the time. So for me, it's just distinguishing between being a communicator, then what that means to be an effective communicator.
Great answer. And Mr. V.
Like everybody here kind of touched on a little bit, communication is key, and making sure you're in step with your partner, knowing that sometimes it might be some long hours, you have to do some things, but working together, knowing it's an investment towards the future and being comfortable. And it's a work-life balance that you have to have. Hopefully you're in the job that you enjoy, you get some enjoyment out of, and you work to live. You shouldn't live to work. Your work should support your home life and your life in general, and that should be your goal. So having that communication with your partner, being on the same page with them, knowing, hey, if I have to go overseas for a while, if I have to go on this detail for 6 months or something like that, if I'm taking a new job that's going to take us across country or back, or I have to be away for a while, that's hopefully all an investment into future comfort and conveniences where we can look back on and say, you know what, that sacrifice we made during that time was an investment into where we are right now. And I think that pays off when you sit back and you can sit comfortably in your home with your children. You can laugh and smile. You have your time off. You're able to get them, like most of us here, most of our kids want for nothing. Most of our spouses or partners want for nothing except for more time and more laughs with us. So again, I think it's an investment as long as you're on the same page. Hey, we're on a goal. This is what we're trying to do right now. It might take this, but when we get there, it's going to be that much better in the future. So again, like they said, communication is a big key with that.
Who's not agreeing with him?
I heard some snickering.
Yeah, I heard some snickering in the gallery.
So,
What was that about?
I don't know.
So for those that might have a question on that, please tune in to the last episode of Marriage Chronicles starring me and my spouse. Tell a friend, like, subscribe, comment, watch it a couple times. Thank you.
And I piggyback off everything y'all said, man. I remember when I first started in a relationship with my wife, and communication was a hard thing for me. You know what I'm saying? It was a hard thing for me. And I don't know why it was so hard, because sometimes you don't want to have them difficult conversations. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't communicate it to them, and, you know, my wife always just tell me, why are you sitting around looking like that? I know something on your mind, but I just couldn't communicate it to her the way I wanted to without it coming across like, shit, I think I said something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that was hard for me from the start. But once I figured she was big on that communication, and I was like, okay, I gotta make some changes. I gotta do something different, man. I gotta communicate better. And ever since I started doing that, man, it's like I try to stay away from the drama. I try to stay away from the arguments, because back in the days, man, like we get into a little spit spat, I walk out the house. You know, that's how I handled it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't face it. I just walk out the house and think it'll blow over. But that don't settle nothing, because she always used to tell me, oh, you're going to come back and say it later. You're going to come back and say it later. So the communication from the start that I had was trash. Like Bubba Dub said, trash. But I've learned along the way by just listening. And like Greg said earlier, being patient. Patient is the key. You know what I'm saying? In this terminology, they say happy wife, happy life. That don't work all the time. But, you know, that's just how I feel about it. But, you know, we all deal with things different. And, you know, like I said, we all sports guys, right? And we read in the news about mental health and things like that. Have any of y'all ever experienced because men deal with mental health different than women. Have any of y'all ever experienced any type of mental health that you can think of? I mean, Al, you looking crazy, so we're going to start with you.
Thank you. Well, right now, I'm definitely in the mental health field, so I know what those signs and symptoms are.
Uh-huh.
So when I see it, I know what it is. At some point in times, I do get a little down on myself, maybe a little depressed, but I will go and do something to pull me out of that. It may last a day. It's not something that's real big, but being in the mental health field and dealing with adults with mental health, I know the signs and symptoms, so I can kind of know where I'm at and know what to do to kind of curb that.
Okay.
Being in that mental health field is huge for me.
All right, Greg. Let's see. Any takes on yours?
Well, like I would say dealing with mental health issues also in my work field, just dealing with kids in general, high school kids at that. They're under a lot of pressure, man, from their peers, parents, and I'm going to say this because I'm seeing it. We got a lot of young parents with young kids.
Yeah.
You know, and it's more so it's like they're not parenting their best friends.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but when it comes to that child getting disciplined, that's when the fight, you know, comes back in my field, between the student and the teacher. So it's that mental health, what they're going through, and you know, you never know what the home life is.
Yeah.
So you got to bring that to the aspect, and just like I said, patience goes to in my work field also.
Yeah.
Because there's some days you could be like, man, I'm not trying to hear that.
Yeah.
You go into this office, but there's other days I kind of calm myself down, like, hold on, let me get the real gist of the problem.
Yeah.
Because it may not just be with that teacher. It could be a home life.
Yeah.
you know, and so it's hard what they're going through right now. But myself, strong-minded, man. I'm not
Trying
going
to
that
deal
way.
with it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How about you, Rob?
I think, personally, just going through ups and downs. I think, sometimes when you reflect on different situations, whether you could have handled them better, I think things like that, affect you emotionally. And, obviously, it's not a long-term thing, but I think, the continuance of many episodes can affect you, how you approach things in the long run. And mental health is real. I think we try to mask it in certain ways, but I think in one reality, I think we all go through something. We might not stay there, we shouldn't stay there. And if you feel that you are staying in a situation for too long, that you should talk to someone, always have an outlet with somebody to talk to. Obviously, I spend a lot of time on the phone with Al. I spend a lot of time on the phone with Kareem, and all of us kind of texting each other throughout the day. It might be real life situations that we're talking about too that will help us get through, those moments. And I think that kind of keeps us going a little bit. So.
All right, Mr. V.
Shoot, that's hard to piggyback what everybody else said here, but they all hit the nail on the head with that. Obviously, everyone goes through things. We talked about communication is key. I think a big part of that is listening, being able to listen to someone, because most of the times when you want to talk, you want to express yourself, you want someone that you can trust that's just going to listen. You may not need advice or guidance. You just want to kind of vent and get whatever you have going off your chest. You want an empathetic ear, not someone to sympathize for you, but someone that can kind of relate and say, yes, I may not be going through what you're going through, but I've went through something before and I can relate to how it feels to be under pressure or under stress or something like that. And for mental health, I think just like what we have with how Simply Ball Drop and SBD founded itself, as you said, KSAP, it started with a bunch of us sitting around on text messages, on phone calls, just talking about sports. Soon after that, it transformed and, hey, how's your day going? Hey, how's your son doing? Greg, how you doing? You're going to see your daughter graduate or something like that. Al, how's your health? Whatever. And I think as men, as people in general, but as men, especially as we get older, we have to learn to be more vulnerable, just to be able to trust each other and say, hey, you know what? Maybe my family has a history of prostate cancer and I'm nervous. I've had some issues. I need to go, guys. And I shouldn't be ashamed or nervous about sharing that with you, because we all go through things and we realize that we're there to support each other. So I think we do that here amongst each other. And I hope people that watch this or know us realize, okay, hey, these are some guys we can talk to. They all bring something to the table. We can all relate in some way, shape, or form. We can all take something from each other. And I think we share that amongst our families, and then in our different social circles in the workplace, we do that too. And that, I think that's a shining light to let people know, hey, these are some people we can look to and come to if something's going on.
All right, cool. And how about you, Cuzzo?
For me in mental health, man, the big word that comes to me, and is I really didn't realize it for a long time, but I'm super competitive. And with a loss for me came depression. I would be depressed, even whether it was a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, 2 days. And it took me a while to really realize what the results of a basketball game were doing to me.
Oh, yeah.
Whether we won or we lost, I was two different people.
Yeah.
And it took one of my assistants one time to, really come to me, sit down out of concern, and, how are you handling this? How are you dealing with the depression that you obviously go right into after a loss?
Yeah.
And for me, it really was never like a negative for me until I looked at it from a different perspective. And it just forced me to handle things a little bit differently, being able to handle the highs and the lows, the ups, the downs, the peaks, the valleys of the game a little bit differently, and just trying to find positives in the negatives. That's what it was for me. With every loss, there was something that we could take out of it as a basketball club. And I began to handle losing a little bit better when I started to look at it a little differently.
In the words of Stephen A. Smith, so eloquently. Yeah. Hey, I got to take a break. I got to pay some bills, but when we get back, we're going to finish this conversation. Y'all get yourself a drink, and we be right back.
This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs. Boho Chic Boutique is dedicated to the lovers of fashion, specializing in bohemian chic handbags, accessories, and personal shopping. Visit Boho Chic Boutique at bohochictx.com. BOHOCHICTX.com. Be present. Be present. Customize and press is what we do. We customize just for you. Shirts, mugs, masks, canvas prints, tote bags, tumblers, and more. Our goal is to bless, satisfy, and put a smile in your heart and on your face.
Hey guys, to get all the merch that we wear in our videos, go to www.simplyballdroppin.com to go get hats, hoodies, t-shirts. We got it all. Got your favorite NFL team, we got Kobe Bryant stuff, and just go to the website to get all your merchandise.
In TV land.
We back in the building. All right, so we're going to continue on where we left off at, man. We was talking about the mental health aspect of it, and everybody gave their perspectives on it. Like I said, we all athletes, man. We deal with a lot of things different. But one question I want to ask you guys, growing up, now you where you at, would there be any changes that y'all would have made leading up to this point? I'll start with you, Rob.
Ooh. Good question. I probably wouldn't have played baseball. But I would have picked up golf. You know, I still would have played basketball. I still would have played football, but I probably would have let baseball go and still running track. I was okay with that, but I probably would have definitely picked up golf. But at the time, it wasn't popular. So not a lot of brothers was playing golf at the time, but I enjoy it so much now that I wish I would have started younger, you know, because, you know, certainly, you know, you see people on TV and everything like that. It's like that's something that I think I could have did. But basketball, you know, obviously, no. Football, no. But golf, yeah. You know what I mean? It's like it didn't require a whole lot of athleticism. It took mental aspect, and I think that's what I have.
You still would have wore the crop top?
Might have, you know, you know. I didn't let it go too bad though. You know what I mean? I kept it faded. You know what I mean? You know, but you know, now I like that bald look, you know what I mean? Because it's easier maintenance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easier maintenance. But you know, give me about a month and a half, I can make this thing curly. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? So natural.
Had a flashback, huh?
Yeah, natural. You know what I mean? So
how about you, Cuzzo?
For me, I think I would go back to leaving FCC, headed down to Spartanburg as a student athlete. I got there for to take care of some odds and ends for enrollment, admissions. And I got there, we went through the process, and I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a gym teacher. Okay. Always had, wanted to do that as a kid. And I got there, and my transcript would have added on more time.
Yeah.
So I was talked into pursuing a different route as a student athlete, as far as my education and as far as my schooling. And if I could do that over again, I would definitely go back and pursue my dreams instead of somebody else's.
All right. How about you, Al?
Good stuff. one of the things that when I got up to Frostburg State University, shout out Frostburg, shout out Bobcats.
Go ahead, put the plug in.
When I got up there to play basketball, I got injured, and then after that, the ball kind of went flat for me. After that, I wish I would have kind of stuck with it, set out the year, got myself back together, and played next 2 years up there. But I did stay. Just took the athlete away from student.
Okay.
Stayed up there, got my degree, got my degree in education, which I wanted to do. Like say, I wanted to teach, and I kind of fell into the rec part of it. I wish I would have just stayed and kind of got my teaching certificate there, and then moved back home and taught, which I really wanted to do. But I kind of moved into a different aspect of mental health. So the change, not too much for me, but I'm happy where I'm at this point in time. But I might would have probably got my teacher certificate while I was at school.
All right. How about you, Greg?
I would say I would have got more serious in the books with my books in high school. I think that deterred me once I graduated from, going to do. Right. So
like they said about Tommy Shepard, pure talent, fatal flaw.
There it is. Hey, but that and more so took what I was being told and put that at, like I was told to get in the weight room.
Yeah.
And throughout all high school, I just took regular gym class when I took strength training.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't, again, focused on what I needed to do. And then so just took high school more seriously, basically. And I think I had a different route out of it.
Gotcha. How about you, Mr. B?
Well, I'd say for myself, kind of like Al said a little bit, he likes the path that he took. I think all of us, the path that we took before brought us to where we are now. And for me, I don't have the athletic background like my comrades up here. What that did for me, though, because I missed out on an opportunity in my senior year in TJ, was that gave me motivation after that, and I've been successful in my professional career after that. But if I did go back and tell myself something, I'd say, hey, stop watching Sports Center, watching highlights, and trying to do what you see Michael Jordan and those guys doing, dunking, and work on the fundamentals. And that's something now when I'm talking to young people, your son, my daughter and stuff like that, work on the things that build the foundation, not just the things that get you instant gratification. And that's what will make you successful in the long run. Put in the work on the things that you may not enjoy doing, that may not see that beneficial, and that'll set a foundation that you can be successful, in the future. So that's what advice I would give myself if I went back.
That's impressive to get around the athletic question. That's phenomenal.
Oh, I ain't say I wasn't athletic. I said I don't have the athletic background like you guys do, but we can still go out there at any sport you want right now, and I'll be one of the top 3 in this room.
Nah. Stop. Hey, man, Dave.
You heard it.
Dave,
that could be another episode. That could be That could be another episode of Simply Ball Dropping. Catch us live at any sport venue, and we can see how it plays out.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Simply Ball Dropping would have never been Simply Ball Dropping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my path was different. You know what I'm saying? Because once I got out of the military, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Athletics, we all got athletic bones in our body. We all play sports. But my path was a little different. So if I make any changes, anything derail me, that even goes back to when I got shot. If I'd have never got shot, I probably wouldn't be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because I told my wife, I said, if I'd have never got shot, I'd have stayed in the military. I'd have tried to retire from that thing. I probably never came across her. So like, when I met her, man, she changed my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like for the better. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of people, I tell a lot of people, man, when I left, wasn't no turning back because I was already on my own when I went into the military. You know what I'm saying? So I experienced it. I've traveled the world, but it's like I got out to Texas, man. I started all over, man. Ain't nobody know me, man. But I always tell my wife, she born and raised in Texas. I know more people than her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like when I started out there, man, it's a whole different ball game, man. But like I said, I've always stayed connected to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like Rob said earlier, always on the phone with each other, talking to Al, talking to Tay, talking to Greg, talking to Vaughn. Because it goes back to the days when we started, man, the three-way conversations, man. People, and it's like, I hate when my wife sat there, I know who you talking to. You talking to Vaughn because the way we be talking. Oh, you must be talking to Rob now. You know what I mean? Come on. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing, man. But like I said, as sports people, man, we stay connected to sports. We all got our different perspectives on sports. That's how it really started out as a sports. You know, we talking sports, chopping it up. As Rob say, before you come into the chat, you always got to say good morning or, you know, thank the Lord for waking us up, putting our feet on solid ground before we get any rep. Because if we don't, then it's a problem. And then Vaughn will come in and talk about, y'all dropping the ball. So we put it all together as simply ball dropping. But, you know, to go back and look on it, how we started, man, like, I look at you guys as like, man, we stay connected. I know Vaughn's eager to say something, but I'm gonna give him the mic right now and let Vaughn go and continue from where I left off at. Go ahead, Mr. B.
I wasn't gonna, you just brought it back. I was just gonna say shout out to Lebanon and the player.
Greg called him Lebanon. I called Kobe the player. Couldn't use the word Kobe. We had to say the player. You know what I'm saying? But it's always a good thing. I know Rob over there laughing, so go ahead and get it off your chest, Rob. Get it off your chest.
I mean, just from flashbacks, like really, we made the most out of the technology at the time and literally leaving each other voicemails, text messages, and stuff like that to get across our points. And this would last literally 3-4 hours during a work day.
Oh, yeah.
A work day, not like we off. This is a work day. Like, and then you got to find a break because it's like if you don't respond immediately, when you do, you like 4 or 5 conversations later. We already done passed that. So, I mean, just thinking about some of those days and the reflection of, you know, how things have transpired into what they are now, it's really. It's funny. It's impressive though.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's impressive because somebody here knows about the conversation we had 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Literally.
Somebody got the archive.
Somebody has the archive and can show what you said, when you said it, all that.
Yeah.
Somebody's got that. And somebody can hold you accountable for that, for what you said at that time.
If Cuzzo didn't want to take the nerf all the time.
Yeah.
You guys kept running.
Go ahead. Get it off your chest.
Hey.
Get it off your chest.
All I'm gonna say is it was some great conversations, heated conversations at times, and what would happen was guys would get in their feelings and they would run off for days. So what came from that was whenever you ran off, just make sure you leave the nerf for everybody else to continue to play. That's all.
And then sometimes when Cuzzo came back, he sat in the pew. He just sat there watching, don't want to say nothing. Right. But there was one time we had the app where we could see who was looking and everything. Somebody kept a screenshot and said, "Oh, we see you beating, but you're not speaking." You know what I'm saying? Al, what you laughing for? Come on. Al went on a whole sabbatical. Come on, tell us something.
Listen, Linda. I am not a LeBron hater.
We ain't talking about that. We talking about just sabbaticals.
I just call it how I see it, K-Sap. And everybody might not see through Al Green's eyes. That's all I say.
Look, so we use WhatsApp, GroupMe, Viber. What else we use?
Three-way phone calls.
Yeah, 3-way phone calls, conference calls, QB. Yeah.
Larry's little 800 Sprint thing. We chime in on. Yeah.
Used it all.
And all of them used to break down at some point.
Yeah.
And then look, and the thing about it is you say, okay, we got a new app. Me and Vaughn to test it out. Y'all go ahead and download it. It'll take Al about 2 weeks before they'll download it.
It'll break down at some point.
But hey, the app we got now ain't broke down.
Mr. B was the one that made me upgrade my phone.
K-Sap.
Yeah, hey, look. Hey, he had to get an upgrade. You know, Greg used to have the flip phone. He could, you know we do.
That was an issue.
Yeah, that was the issue.
Like literally, so we everybody got this smartphone thing going on. But one person still got the flip phone. So we can't convert over to the new app because the flip phone ain't gonna work, ain't compatible. So that was an issue. We struggled on that for at least about 2-3 years. Easy.
See what they're not telling y'all is some of us were sensitive. Greg only had a certain amount of anytime minutes he could use. So I knew that because he talked to me offline about that. So we had to wait till he got his paper up so he could get anytime minutes, and he was good after that. So shout out Greg. He caught up with us.
So question, man. Anybody in the gallery got any questions for us? I know y'all eager. I know y'all got something y'all want to ask us. Don't get quiet now. Y'all ain't got no questions? What's up? Speak up. Y'all can say it out loud. What y'all typing? What's up? Greg?
Great. That was great.
That was past tense. That was past tense.
Look, we were stuck there for a minute.
So nothing y'all ladies need to ask us? It's y'all's time.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's a good question.
We're gonna start with the elder statesman in the house. Go ahead, Rob.
That's that. So the question was, how do we feel about getting older? And I would answer that in the sense that, man, these days are numbered, and every day that you come down the steps, you feel life. And just getting up in the morning, you feel life. And it's not fun in the sense when you think about it in that aspect, because you think about so many other things that you want to do, you want to accomplish, and that you're literally just running out of time. And that's a frightening thing to digest. And, I think you have to, step back for a moment and just try to minimize it, that I'm just going to enjoy today. You know what I mean? And not look at that big picture because it will overwhelm you. And, but at the same time, I also look forward to a moment when, you retire and you don't have to go to work, and work for someone else. So I can't wait for those days, can't wait for those days.
Keep pressing, y'all. Y'all's way. How about you, Al?
Last month I just turned 45, man. Once I turned 45, I think the light did kind of turn on to the point where you're on the second half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Back
nine.
The back nine. Halftime is over.
And I'm working towards, but with that, goals are set. Things that you wouldn't do as a younger person, you start to do.
Hold up, time out. Hold up, time out. Shout out to Kelly. We appreciate you so much. Shout out to Kelly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's only because she wanted to get on my phone plan.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. Appreciate the feedback, Kelly.
But yeah, just on the second part of life, you're gonna do different things than we did when we were young.
That's good. How about you, Cuzzo?
For me, I just try to max out every moment. I definitely feel older getting out the bed some mornings than others.
It's real. It's real. That struggle is real.
Shoulders from all the throwing and softballs and all the baseball and all that. I definitely feel it at times, but just trying to max out every moment, just trying to enjoy every moment. And for me, family has really pushed up the ladder board for me. Just enjoying family, enjoying the experiences with family, highs, lows, ups, downs, everything that comes with that. Just appreciating family and just embracing it every day and just, trying to push through and be positive.
Cruise time.
That's love. How about you, Mr. B?
For me, realizing getting older, And like they said, life is finite. The easiest way to summarize it is, I remember back when I was in training for one of the positions that I had long ago, and I remember watching an episode of Joel Osteen. I was up late at night, watched the episode of that because it was on the TV, and he said something that resonated with me ever since. He said, change your perspective. And I remember the examples he used. He's like, you can have the mindset or perspective, man, I got to go to work, or I get to go to work. And from that day forward, I took that as every moment in his life is I get to enjoy all that it brings, the highs, the lows. It's all part of the experience. And I live a life now. I know I'm getting older. I know there's an eventual end to it. But at any time, I want to be able to say, you know what? If today was my last day, what a ride. What a ride. I loved every minute of it. And I thank the universe, the good Lord upstairs, whoever you pray to or believe in, for every second of this life of my existence has he given me.
You'll make me cry, man. You're going to make me cry.
Yeah. I piggyback on everything that everybody said, even what Rob said about the days are numbered and things like that, because I'm going to tell you a little story. The day I turned 50, that was a couple months back, the day after, I was sleeping. And I got woke up because I couldn't breathe. I thought they was ready to take me out. So I'm like, I wake up, couldn't catch my breath. I look over to my wife. I tap her. I said, hey, you got to take me to the emergency room. I said, don't go waiting high up. Just take me to the emergency room. I was gasping for air. I thought they were trying to take me out. And I was like, man. So took me to the emergency room, checked in, and met me in the hall, hooked me up to the EKG, the heart monitor, and all that stuff. Sat in there, and the doctor looked at me and said, all your vitals are good. Your blood pressure was steady. But I was like, something's causing me not to breathe. So Kanisha was like, just relax, baby, just relax. Trying to relax, man. Then he started, because of my medical issue with the blood clot, he was talking all this stuff. So at that time, my antennas went up, my blood pressure shot up there. And I'm like, wow, what is going on here? So I sat there and I relaxed. So they put a IV in my arm, and whatever they put in that IV, it kind of got me to relax and get myself back together. So they couldn't find nothing that was wrong with me, but was concerned about my blood pressure being so high that it could start messing with my kidneys and stuff like that. So I had to do a follow-up with my doctor. So put me on another blood pressure medicine just to keep my levels down. So ever since that day, I got out of the hospital. I said, man, all that bullshit I used to eat, I said, I can't eat that stuff no more. Started riding the bike, started walking, checking my blood pressure. I said, like the other day, I checked my blood pressure before we came here. And they said, your blood pressure ain't never been that low. I said, I know. I said, man, it's like a combination of things that I was doing that was making my blood pressure, all the sodium and stuff like that. But now I be trying to watch, the sodium intake and stuff like that, things like that. But I just want to share that with you guys, because as you get older, man, your body just start breaking down. And like Tay said, like sometimes I'll get up, my wife and stuff like that, your bones are cracking. I'm like, man, I'm getting a little older, you know what I'm saying? I just can't, I get out of the bed, I got to get myself, to stretch out just to get myself together, man. But like Vaughn said, man, life, I appreciate life. And if they would check me out, man, I had one hell of a ride, though, because like I said, I've done a lot in 50 years, you know what I'm saying? But it's a blessing to be around, still have you guys with me, you know what I'm saying? Still have the wives with us, you know what I'm saying? And like the fellowship and the camaraderie and all the talks, like we talk about this all the time. Some of the talks we had on the small got us through the day, you know what I'm saying? When things look bleak, you know what I'm saying? It's like just some of the inspiration that guys would put out there, man, be like, hey, they might not know that, but I needed that at that time. You know what I'm saying? So it was a blessing. But people used to laugh at us. I say, man, we got the small, and they be like, they laugh, what the hell is the small? Y'all wouldn't understand. But it's a lot of things that got me through the day. So I know Vaughn is eager to speak again. So we're gonna turn it over to Mr. B.
Only thing that came to mind when you were telling that that story, and I'm glad you're still here with us and you bounce back health wise. I think everybody here gotten a little bit older. For you younger folks out there in your teens, 20s, younger, make your memories there, because all of us can sit here and remember and look back in time and say, man, back in the day I used to get up on the rim. Back in the day I could do that. Some of us were the spouses say, man, back in the day I used to put in that work, about 20 minutes, about 3 minutes now. But all of it's about experiences. And as you get older, you start to savor those, you start to reminisce on those old experiences, and you start to savor those new experiences. So shout out to the 3-minute men and the 5-minute men, and those that used to be able to that can almost now.
Rob over there laughing. What you laughing for, Rob? Go ahead and speak, man.
Now, I'm just going to say that this room is fabulous. As I look around at the walls and the cowboy reflections and my Commander friends, my Redskin friends, my Viking friends, my man 2G is a Cowboy fan. All them Giant haters out there, all them Pittsburgh haters out there.
I mean, the room is nice.
Hey.
But have you heard the surround sound?
Nah, we're not gonna do that to him right now. But just overall, it's been really nice just enjoying the friendship, of everybody. And I think that among us, we're our toughest critics. You know what I mean? That I feel I know you well enough that I can say something to you, and we're not going to agree. Trust me, we're not going to agree. And you guys are going to give it back in the same token. But after it's said, we cool. It's what it is. And that's the most important thing, that we can keep each other accountable, and that's what I appreciate the most out of all you guys. It's just the fact that we keep it real. We keep it real. Look, hey, we can be rough on each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But hey, this dude right here, he yells at me like no other on the sideline. But I understand his passion and where he's coming from. So I don't take it personal. You know what I mean? I know he's trying to compete. I know he's trying to do the best for his team. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's an appreciation for our friendship. Oh, there's Shaq. Come on, Shaq. Are you serious?
Still got the most chips, man.
Yeah, one more.
Brady. All that chip stuff stops with Brady. Anybody got anything? Yeah.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic moment. Drop the mic. Drop the mic moment. Yeah. But yeah. Any other questions?
I want to know who in the group starts the most trouble.
Rob.
For those who may not have heard her, the question was, who in this group starts the most trouble?
I mean, look, I'm going to look for moments. I'm going to look for moments that we can engage in conversation. That's what I'm going to look for. So if you call that trouble, then I'm probably going to be the one. But
because Rob will come in at the tail end of something after we didn't put 35 to 60 messages out there.
Yeah.
Rob will just come in and say something, and there it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, start fire. Then we got to backtrack. Well, I wonder who
look, nah, so the funny thing is, true story. So everybody's watching the game, right? I'm watching the game. They chiming. I'm gonna wait till we get this win first. So we can say nothing. Look. I ain't even gonna say nothing until the game's in the balance. Game's good. We don't want. What am I gonna come in with? What's popping, fellas? Yeah. What's popping?
Yeah. After y'all win.
What's popping?
Right. Would do that too.
Rob is strategic though. Rob knows what he be doing. Rob knows exactly for that moment to chime in when he know everybody going to jump on him for a quick second and then get back to what we're doing. It's strategic, it's planned out, and he got to a point where he perfected it within the group. He perfected it.
Now, was Rob the only person that was strategic with their timing? Because I remember somebody used to be accused of being at the park with their son when the game was out of control and they knew there was going to be a loss. I'm trying to remember who that was.
It was me.
Oh,
Hey, I put that picture out there at the park, and every time I be like, I ain't even watching the game. I'm at the park with my son.
no, and he was right there staring at the game upset.
Everybody had their own way of doing something. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. It's all love, man. Like I said, man, I've enjoyed the ride, man. Enjoyed the friendship, man. As we continue to grow, man, and take this thing to another level. But it's been a pleasure, man. So is there anything y'all guys like to say before we wrap it up? I'll start with you, Al.
I would just like to say thank you to all you guys, man. Like you said earlier, it was times where we was on the small or whatever platform we was on that kind of got me going or got me through the day, and you guys never knew it. So for me personally, I would like to thank you guys, and anytime I need to reach out to you guys, I know I can call you, and I know I'm gonna get real talk.
Yeah.
100% real talk from each and every one of you. So thank you for all that, and I'm gonna pass it on.
All right, Rob.
Shout out to Simplyballdroppin. Get yourself one of these tees. They online. Look it up. Got more apparel out there, but support my man. Supporting. You know, it's easy to say, yeah, I like that, but when you got to make an investment into something, it's a cost to do that.
Real talk.
And that's what I would say about this group, that we've made an investment into each other. So it comes with a cost. So that's why I feel that we can be genuine with one another and say things, you know, in a good nature, you know, to just try to help somebody along. And, you know, like I said, it's been fun.
Yeah.
We've transformed into maturity now, and we see things from a different light. And that for the next 10 years it's gonna be fun. Next 20 years, it's gonna be fun.
All right, Cuzzo.
For me, I think I just want to say that I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Helped me grow over the years, seeing things differently. And you know when you got true friends.
Yeah.
You know, people that you don't have to talk to every day, but you know when you're in a dark place, you need people to talk to. When you see them, you know who your true friends are. And I consider everybody in this room true friends. And again, love you guys.
All right, Greg.
State the same. I want to say thank you and I love you. Go one by one for real. Al, like I said, when I was young, I was growing up too fast, man. And Al and his mom, they let me come and stay, spend the weekend. Tay and his parents let me come and spend the weekend. I want to, I never told them this, but I want to say thank y'all guys, thank y'all parents, because y'all helped me out. I don't know if y'all or your parents knew what y'all was doing when I came over there, but y'all knew where I came from and y'all knew what my surroundings were, and y'all let me come through, man, and treated me like a brother. Rob, we just started talking about sports, but the connection at church, when I was getting engaged and going through the marriage thing, your words, man, you helped me out a whole lot. Same with you, Vaughn. As far as the marriage thing, I knew how you were. You were a straight shooter, and I loved that because I needed that to know what I was walking into. And big bruh, you already know what we've been through, man. And yes, sir. And I love you, man.
All right, Mr. B.
I'll keep it short for once. Well, so short. I can only keep it so short. The experiences have been great. Obviously, you've heard everybody up here takes something from each one of us, whether we say it out loud, whether it's in the back of our mind, whether we express it. One of the things that's real evident to me, and we're getting older. We've been to family reunions as they dwindle down some. You get to funerals and you hear the saying that, man, it's a shame we get together on these occasions. We should get together more often. For us, Kareem down in Texas, we're still local. We don't see each other like we used to when we were teens and early 20s. But every year when you come back up and we get together at that restaurant for breakfast, it's like we're right back in there. And I think that's a testament to how close we become. Like Tay said, you ain't got to see each other every day. You ain't got to talk every day. But But once you see each other, it's that instant bond, it's that instant brotherhood that we all have with each other. And it's always a good time, like I think everybody up here is seeing with us there. So that's what I'll take from it.
That's great, man. For me, man, I got a unique relationship with each individual, man. My brother-in-law, my little brother, my cousin, Rob to Al. It's been many days, like y'all said, about, if you need somebody to talk to, we just a phone call away. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, me and Greg back in the days, we ran a few blocks together. Cuzzo was always the little guy coming up to the basketball court, tallying behind us, man, learning his craft. Same with Al. And when I came home a couple times from the military, when them guys was playing, I was always front row cheering them cats on, man. And Rob, going back to when Rob played baseball with my oldest brother, growing up, playing football, and getting that connection, man, and just talking over the years. Like I said, I think our whole journey, when we really started connecting with each other, is when we started small. It all came together. So we saw we all got different personalities, you know what I'm saying? And we learn from each other. Like I said, like it's been days that, man, you might be sluggish. Somebody might say something, be like, damn, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? And that'll get us through the day, man. So I just want to thank each and every one of you guys, man. I love y'all to death. I love your families, man. I love what you stand for. Proud of what everybody has accomplished, your journey. And, they can't take that away from us, man. And, we've been here and it just continues to grow, man. Like I said, man, I love you guys, man. I appreciate everything you guys do. Appreciate you still rocking with me, man, since I'm all the way in Texas. Like Vaughn said, we all don't see each other, but as soon as I get ready to come home, Greg will get that Cracker Barrel brunch together. We'll rock out and we go from there, man. So, like I said, I want to appreciate you guys, man.
Go ahead. Shout out G Money.
Yeah, man. G Money. He's in Houston right now. He's another member, but he is the one that really started the whole thing. It really culminated around me, Vaughn, and Larry. And then Cuzzo jumped on him. And then we explored from there. Rob got in there. Al got in there. Greg got in there. But it took Greg a little bit longer because of the flip phone. The technology was holding him back. But we got it, man. G Money, we like to tell you, man, we love you, man. We love your family, man. And, continue to do what you keep doing, man. But we're here for you, bro. So there's 7 of us. There's a lot of people that say, okay, you doing this, man, but without these guys, I wouldn't be doing it. We all play an intricate part in what Simply Ball Dropping stands for. It's been the days that I started the podcast, from the sound checks with Mr. B and R&B. R&B was technical on this sound stuff, like it sounds like ass. And he would tell me, man. So I had to upgrade some things to get it right. Even my wife.
Hey.
My wife would say it. And I want to give a shout out to DeWine Hall, man. DeWine Hall has been in my corner since I started this podcast. And it's been times that when I was just doing the audio version of it, DeWine would critique me. He would sound check me. And some of the stuff that DeWine would say, my wife would say, like, you using this word too much. You doing this. Why you keep saying this? Why? So I had to change some things, you know what I'm saying? Because I was new to it. But once I started getting comfortable, it's like, start bringing people in. A lot of people didn't want to get on the podcast because they was a little nervous. They said, I don't like how my voice sound. And they just wouldn't rock out. But as you guys seen, man, it's nothing to it, man. It's just sitting around having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But people are watching. It's a platform. So like I said, man, I appreciate everybody, man. I love you guys. And that's going to wrap up another episode of the Ball Dropping Podcast. But I'm going to let Rob go ahead and interject what you got to say, R&B.
One last thing that just want to give a shout out to my man K-Sap for his platform, for what he's doing, expanding the conversation. We've transformed into this, what it is now. And we never thought that we'd be right here today. And true story, K-Sap is the only one that has no problem calling my house at 1:00 in the morning. Ever. 82 times a year. 1 o'clock in the morning, K-Sap has no problem. He rings the phone. And I'm glad, look, I'm glad my wife don't take it personal. But K-Sap does not have a problem calling me at 1 o'clock in the morning. She knows it's get ready to happen. She said, he's getting ready, he's calling you.
And the reason being is, hold on. The reason being, it'll be a conversation before that. And it'll be like, after the game, just hit me back. Yep. See, thank you. And then one time I caught Rob was asleep. I was like, man, do you ever sleep?
Hey.
I don't know if does Rob close his eyes?
Every now and then. Hey, but there'll be sometimes I'll be so heated after a loss, or like I'll be like, man, I'll be like, what do you want to talk about? We lost. Yeah. Ain't nothing to talk about.
Because you sitting there laughing.
Ain't nothing to talk about. We lost.
I'm laughing because sometimes I see the same call sometimes. I just don't answer.
Yeah, Cuzzo ain't got no shit.
I just don't answer.
Cuzzo, he'll send you to the voicemail real quick, man. And then call you next day. What's up, babe? For real. Nah, we have a good time, man. Man, I appreciate your guys tonight, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in, man. A lot of engagement, man. I appreciate y'all guys. And like I said, man, tell a friend, man. Share the stream out, man. If people didn't catch the live broadcast, you catch the replay, man. So I appreciate everybody, man. That's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm the host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Can't be mad at me now.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Droppin' podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.